So I was watching Old's videos and he low-key inspired me to play Barbarian Hut, so I chucked it in my Mortar deck even though I've never played this card in my life. My opponent went Raw Giant at the back, so of course I went Mortar at the bridge to apply some pressure opposite lane. He blocked with an E-Spirit, so I'm just going to take that out with Skeletons, and a Musketeer on my Mortar, assuming he'll play something to defend that as well. I got the Hunter luckily, and that should be a lock. I still have to defend the Raw Giant other lane, but luckily I have a Barbarian Hut even though I have absolutely no clue what this interaction is. I don't know where to put it properly, so I'm just going to place it directly on top and hope for the best. I'm going to add some bats as well since he used a Barbarian Barrel, and he got one hit on my tower somehow. I went Fire Spirit at the bridge just to be annoying, and he definitely didn't seem to enjoy taking more than fireball damage for one Alexa. He goes Ghost to the bridge, so I'm just going to use a Mortar and Larry's to take that out and hopefully get a lock on the tower. He goes Evo Raw Giant opposite lane, and I've only got a Barbarian Hut, so I'm just going to place that down and hope for the best. He goes Fisherman as well, so that's 9 Alexa versus 1 Barbarian Hut. He goes Larry's 2, so that's 10 Alexa, and it actually defended everything. Honestly, Barbarian Hut might be the best card in the game. I finally got to my Evo Mortar, so I'm just going to place that down with my Musketeer and see what he does next to defend. And he doesn't do anything, so I actually think he gave up against Mortar. Usually Raw Giant decks are actually a hard matchup against Mortar, but the Barbarian Hut definitely helped out a lot here. GG's, and hopefully the next opponent puts up a better fight. On to the next game, I go Mortar at the bridge just to force him to play something into it. He goes Split E-Barbs, which I was not expecting at all, so I'm just going to go Bats on the right one and Musketeer to hit both. He goes Minion Horde too, but luckily I got arrows, and unfortunately my Musketeer got taken out, but my Mortar still got a lock on the tower. I place Fire Spirit at the bridge just to be annoying and hopefully get some damage or force him to play something. Oh, he goes Skeleton Giant, and I've only got a Barbarian Hut as well, so I don't know about this interaction as well, so I'm just going to place Skeletons up high, and it actually seems like it defends really well. Also, the Skeletons kept it away from the Hut, so I've still got the Hut as well as a counter push. The next wave of the Barbarian Hut came in, so I'm going to place Mortar alongside with it. I've never done this push in my life, so I have absolutely no clue if it will work. He goes Skarmy up high to block the Barbarians and the Mortar as well, and he goes Lumberjack too, so I'm just going to place Bats directly on top of that to protect my Mortar. He then goes Wizard as well, which is not what I want to see when I'm running a Barbarian Hut deck. My Musketeer should easily take out that Wizard though, but since it's a hero, he's definitely going to have to spend even more to prevent me pressing the ability on his tower. And of course he spends 3 Elixir arrows. I'm going to go for this weird push again, and hopefully it works this time since I have Evo Mortar. So Barbarian Hut in the middle, and he goes Minion Horde, which I completely forgot about. Luckily I have a Fire Spirit so I can get them all to 1 HP, but this push is definitely not going to go anywhere. So I'm just going to place some Bats to take out the Lumberjack as well, and then Evo Larry's down low, and that should fully defend. Honestly, he hasn't even touched my tower, which is kind of crazy with this deck. He goes Evo Wizard up high, so I'm going to attempt this push one more time. I go Mortar and Barbarian Hut opposite lane, and he goes E-Barbs at the bridge, so I pull them into the middle with a Fire Spirit. I place my Musketeer underneath the Barb Hut since that'll protect it, and it should take out the E-Barbs easily. It should also go to the Wizard as well, and unfortunately the Wizard locked onto my tower, so he got his first bit of damage for the game. He goes Skeleton Giant on my Mortar, and I just block with Larry's, and I actually managed to get a lock on the tower. He goes Minion Horde again, but this time I'm ready, and I just arrows it away to easily defend. Now I've got a Musketeer and a Barbarian Hut counter push. He places the Lumberjack on my Muskie, so I go Mortar opposite lane with Bats on top of the Lumberjack. He goes Wizard, so I'm going to place a Musketeer to take that out easily. Hopefully I can get a lock on the tower from this push, and he uses arrows, so this push is going nowhere. I'm going to use a Fire Spirit with the Muskie to hopefully catch out the Skarmy, and he goes Skeleton Giant. Luckily I have my Barbarian Hut in hand, which I learned earlier this match is a really good counter to Skeleton Giant. He goes Skarmy opposite lane, and I just place Bats to help out the Barbarians. He then goes Minion Horde, and I'm ready with that, so I just place arrows, and then he goes for the best clone I've ever seen in my life. Since I know I'm going to get another wave of Barbarians from the Hut, I'm going to go for this cheeky push again with Evo Mortar. He goes Wizard, and unfortunately for him, I have a Lightning, so I time it as soon as the Mortar hits the Wizard, I let go of the Lightning and take it out. And I finally get a lock on the tower. He goes Skeleton Giant to try to take out the Mortar, so I'm just going to block with the Barbarian Hut and hope for the best. It's actually doing a really good job, and the Mortar just needs a few more hits on the tower so I can win the game. He's definitely panicking now. He placed a Lumberjack at the back, which to be fair stopped one of the Mortar hits, but the last Mortar shot came through and it won me the game. On to the final game, and hopefully I can go 3 for 3 with my Mortar Barbarian Hut deck. He goes Bomb Tower in the middle, so of course I place my Mortar at the bridge. I'm waiting for him to place something else to defend my Mortar, and of course he goes Firecracker when I don't have my archers, so I'm just going to go for a Fire Spirit and Bats to hopefully take them out. He did block with a P.E.K.K.A, but luckily it was able to defend the Firecracker. Now it should just be a simple defense as he doesn't have any Elixir. Musketeer down low, and then Larry surrounding the P.E.K.K.A, and that should easily full counter. Once the P.E.K.K.A dies, I'm going to place my Mortar and hopefully get a good counter push with the Musketeer. He's actually not placing anything to never mind, he placed a lightning, but that should still be 2 hits on the tower. There's 1, and hopefully I get another one. Yeah, there's 2. Since I'm getting close to 10 Alexa, I'm just going to cycle my bats at the back and then put a Fire Spirit in front so the bats can reach his tower. If I don't mess up the timing, this should actually do a little bit of damage. Well, I did mess up the timing, but hopefully it still does damage to his tower, and it does. I have to defend his E-Golem now, but I do have a Barbarian Hut, which I'm pretty sure is a good counter to E-Golem. I'm going to place Evo Larry's on the E-Golem once it crosses a bridge with a Barbarian Hut to pull it. He did place a questionable bomb tower, so I'm just going to arrows that along with a Firecracker. His whole push got deleted, which is kind of proving that the Barbarian Hut might be the best card in the game. I now have a crazy counter push with Barb Hut and Evo Mortar, and of course he goes Executioner, which is just going to delete my whole push. I don't think my Barbarian Hut's going to get much use in this matchup against Executioner and Bomb Tower. Unfortunately, I wasn't ready for those goblins, so my Fire Spirit was a bit late, but I still should get a few locks on the tower. If I was quick enough, I definitely would have had more Mortar hits on the tower, but on the other lane the Barbarians are actually putting in work. They're doing a ton of damage and he's definitely going to have to respond to that, and yeah, he throws out his 3 Alexa arrows. He goes P.E.K.K.A at the back, so I'm going to place a Mortar at the bridge to apply some pressure opposite lane. I completely forgot he has a bomb tower though, so that's just going to cancel out over there. I kinda made a bad play cycling my Musketeer and bats at the back, because now they're going to get no value and I'm going to have to lock in on defense. He places his E-Golem in front of the P.E.K.K.A, so I place a Barbarian Hut in the middle to pull it. I then go Musketeer far right since I know he has lightning and I don't want to give him any value. I kinda messed up though, and he managed to lightning everything, but luckily I have my own lightning so I can do a ton of damage to the P.E.K.K.A and the Evo Executioner. And he went Goblin, so I can just arrows all that and fully defend. Of course he's gonna go for his Goblin ability, so I'm gonna have my Fire Spirit ready, and there it is. And honestly, considering the mistake, it was a decent defense. Now I can go for my own push with my Mortar and Musketeer, and he was either low on Alexa or he messed up the timing because now I got a lock on the tower. I can just arrows away the Firecracker and then place Evo Larry's on the P.E.K.K.A. That should take care of that. Wait, never mind, he used arrows. Don't even ask me what that terrible Fire Spirit placement was, but I should be able to defend with a Musketeer. Wait, never mind, he goes lightning, and I'm just going to place bats, so I'm going to take 1 hit, but it shouldn't be too bad. But I'm back to my Evo Mortar now, and hopefully I can get a lock on the tower. He places the Executioner, which I can just lightning away after it gets a hit from the Mortar. I'm going to place the lightning on the E-Golem as well to damage it down, and I got a lock on the tower. I'm only going to get 1 Mortar hit, but this should be a really simple defense. The Musketeer should take out the E-Golems, and I can just use a Fire Spirit on the Goblins. I think he's going to place a lightning on my Musketeer, so I'm going to wait for him to do that so I don't give him value. And of course he does that, so I'm going to place bats on the bomb tower to go take that out, and then place a Mortar at the bridge. He should only have an Executioner right now to defend this, and of course he places it so I can just take it out right away with a lightning. That will 100% get a lock on the tower, and that is GG. This type of video is new for me, so I hope it wasn't too bad and that you did enjoy. Like and subscribe and comment what other Mortar decks I should try next.